USC back in postseason play after a 5-7 finish in 2018. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, breaking down the Trojans. We got Matt Lowry on the line from SB Nation's Conquest Chronicles. Shouldn't be a surprise that USC, this is becoming a yearly thing, Matt. They're playing a Big Ten team. 2014 Nebraska, 15 Wisconsin, 16 Penn State, 17 Ohio State, 19 Iowa. That's 5 consecutive bowl games against the Big Ten.
It seems like it's a yearly thing for USC to play teams out of the Big Ten. It's pretty how can I put it? It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so when you look at this matchup, considering everything that this team had to fight through in 2019, coming off 5-7, losing quarterbacks, losing key position players all over the field, but especially at running back where they were just completely depleted, facing one of the toughest stretches, one of the toughest schedules in college football, one of the tougher stretches in that 6-game opening March, being able to withstand all that, go 7-2 in the conference, 8-4 overall. They retain Clay Helton. I'd love for you to just kind of share your experience and your exchanges with the fan base regarding Clay Helton first and foremost, and when that was announced, the general response.
Yeah, so a lot of people were not happy, and to be, to reason with them or to kind of understand them, I see where everyone's coming from. Everyone was trying to figure out, what did Clay Helton do for him to constitute to keep his job, and it's been questions that I've been asking the past couple of weeks, and I haven't come up with an answer, honestly. A lot of fans are unhappy when the news dropped and we put the article up. The comment sections just flooded with a lot of unhappy people. A lot of people in our Twitter mentions as well on the Conquest Chronicles Twitter page were just talking about how they weren't going to renew season tickets, or how some said they weren't going to go to any more games as long as Helton's head coach. More so due to the fact that they feel that administration and USC athletic director Mike Bowen and USC president Carol Folt basically went tone deaf. They went tone deaf to the fans, to the fans' desire of wanting to make USC, to bring USC back to an elite status, and basically all of that went out the window when they retained Clay Helton. I feel my thoughts on it was, I don't know what they saw. I think Mike Bowen just fell into a prisoner of the moment on wanting to keep Helton, and got caught up in USC finishing strong. Now, mind you, USC beat opponents that they should have beat, but I think he fell into that. Clay Helton made a good impression on him, and that was that. I know there's been rumors out that Bowen couldn't land the top guys, or that they said no. I don't know how true that is, but there's something where a lot of people can't. There's something going on. It's like something isn't making sense here to why they're keeping Helton. It could be the buyout. I mean, there's numerous things going around.
USC fans certainly want more than a Holiday Bowl on a regular basis. 5-7 again last year. They rebound to 8-4 against a very difficult schedule. But it is, although not meeting expectations of a Rose Bowl, a Pac-12 championship a couple of years ago, and then wanting, obviously, to get back to the Pete Carroll days of competing for national championships on a regular basis. Iowa in the Holiday Bowl is actually a nice matchup. It's going to be one of the games I want to see more than any other game in the nation, just because when you get, the Big Ten, the Pac-12, USC involved, it's just an attractive matchup for me. Iowa's got one of the best defenses in the country. They've got a future NFL quarterback in Nathan Stanley. I know he's at least, if anybody's going to call me on that comment, he's at least going to be on a roster holding a clipboard, if nothing else. He's just got that kind of talent. He hasn't lived up to it at Iowa. They were very shaky on offense. USC, explosive on offense, had some issues elsewhere. I think it's an intriguing matchup and should be a good one.
Yeah, I think this is going to be very intriguing because they have a different styles of play. with Iowa, looking at Iowa, they remind me a lot of a more balanced version of Stanford, or they remind me of Stanford. You could say it's like a Midwest version of Stanford. They love to run the ball. They'll also mix it up with the pass here and there. Not very explosive, but it's very old school fundamental football. It's effective football that they have that generally fits the Big Ten. And then you have USC, who brings in the air raid, throwing the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown and Michael Pittman Jr. and Tyler Bonds, letting their true freshman and Keaton Slovis sling the ball around. Just it's very explosive and entertaining, entertaining to watch and effective. And it's hard for defenses to cover all of that talent on the field. So it's very interesting to see how this game plays out. It's like you said, Mark, it's one of the games I really want to see take place. I think it's one of the 3 bowl games that are not New Year's Six bowl games that have 2 ranked teams facing each other.
Yeah, Iowa's one of the top 15 to 20 teams in the country, and I'm not even looking at the rankings. I'm just basing that on evaluation. They played a very difficult schedule. They finished 9-3. Their 3 losses were razor thin to teams like Penn State. Wisconsin can come up with the other loss. Michigan. They lost 1-score games to all those teams. USC, very similar in regards to playing a very difficult schedule down to the wire, going to Notre Dame, playing that one down to the wire, 1-score game, and on we could go through it and have over the last several months. So they're 2 very good football teams. They're not elite teams. They're very, very good teams. 2 of the better teams you're going to see outside of that, yes, New Year's Six game on the same field. And USC and Iowa, very interesting. And if you look at this run against the Big Ten, it's been very close. USC beat Nebraska in a high-scoring 45-42 game. They come back the next year in the Holiday Bowl against a Wisconsin team that they seem to be more talented than, but they lose that 23-21, again, right down to the wire. The Penn State game obviously was a classic in the Rose Bowl, one of the best games you're going to see. 2 top 10 teams going at it, 2 explosive offenses, stars all over the field. The Ohio State game, they were running against one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the country, so that was a difficult assignment, obviously. Then they get this matchup here. I'm missing one in the fray there. Well, they had 4 straight, plus they get this one, after they missed postseason play in 2018. So I'm looking forward to it, and certainly we will have time in the next couple of weeks to break it down a little bit more. Got Matt Lowry on the line from SB Nation's Conquest Chronicles to talk USC football. Trojans and Hawkeyes get it on at the Holiday Bowl